Whoa, okay, right. So, right, so Live and Let Die. It's got a pretty good title, I would say. Like Live and Let Die. That's kind of cool. But yeah, this is Roger Moore's first James Bond film, and as I've already sort of said before, this is kind of like the weird era of James Bond, where I don't think the producers really knew what the hell they were doing, to be honest with you, because like they were like, oh, okay, Sean Connery's left, fine, off you go then, Sean, bye, ha ha ha. Let's bring in this Australian guy that has never acted before. Oh, whoops, that didn't work out for us so well. Oh dear, whoops, mamma mia. Oh, what do we do? I don't know. And then they bring him back. They bring back Sean Connery, and they're like, "We're sorry. We're sorry. We pay you. We pay you. We pay you. Pay you. We're not nice. We are friends now. Friends." Yeah, so they did that, and then Sean Connery was like, "I don't want to come back again. It was fun. I had a good time making Diamonds Are Forever. No, thank you. I don't want to do it anymore. But thank you for the money." And good luck. Good luck with the next one. And, the producers, fair play to them, they want to keep making the movies. They obviously love the franchise. They love James Bond. It makes a lot of money. They have all the rights to the books, so they've got to. They've got to keep making, they've got to get a return on their investment. So, yeah. So, and, they could have just not done it. They could have just said, oh, no, we're not going to do it without Connery. Let's end the franchise. That's it. Bye, done. But they didn't want to, and it's fair enough, We got to make the money, Anyway, they bring in Roger Moore, which was a good idea, a good choice, because he was obviously a very popular actor at the time with The Saint. He was in lots of stuff, but The Saint was very popular. It was a very popular show, similar to like Man from U.N.C.L.E. or Mission Impossible. It was that type of show. Which eventually got a 90s remake with Val Kilmer, which is not the best film, but it's all right. I mean, it's not. But anyway, Roger Moore, Live and Let Die. What do I think to this film? Let's get down to it. I think it's an okay film. I would say it's better than Diamonds Are Forever, but for me, I just don't really feel like it. I mean, it works on some levels for me. I think Roger Moore is actually a good, because this is his first time around. Like, he actually plays the role quite well in this film, but it definitely feels like the script is written for Sean Connery. In fact, maybe they wrote the script with him in mind. Offered him the role, but then he turned it down. They showed him the script, and then he was just like, "Nah, I don't want to do it." Which is fair enough. But like, it does feel like they hadn't quite figured out that Roger Moore is not Sean Connery. He can't recreate that, and he can't play that role again the same way he did it. He's got to do it differently, and he plays it. I think he does it all right. And I do love Roger Moore. I do love Roger Moore. He's not as good as Sean Connery though. Although I don't know, it depends on what mood you're in. It depends on what kind of mood you're in. If you want something a little bit more funnier and lighter, then go for Roger Moore. But anyway, enough about that. Enough about him. The actual film itself, like, it's got all this weird voodoo stuff in it, and it's also like trying to be like Shaft, and I think because there was a popular film called Superfly, which the producers obviously liked, and they wanted to try and make a sort of a James Bond film mixed with blaxploitation cinema at the time, in the 70s, in the early 70s. And I just don't think any of that, I don't think that really works for me. And then later on in the film, there's this like speedboat chase with a sort of a southern sort of police sheriff, and it suddenly turns into like Smokey and the Bandit. And I don't think that works for me either. And yeah, there's a voodoo dude who's like comes out of a coffin. James Bond shoots him in the head, and I don't know what the hell, don't know what was going on there. But then he comes back for something, and then yeah, there's a funny bit where he chucks the voodoo person into like a snake pit or whatever, or a coffin full of snakes, and he dies in a funny way. He's like like that, and it's quite funny. But it definitely feels like as well, like even with like James Bond at the end, like he's got this big like magnum, like big gun. It feels like they're trying to like be like Dirty Harry as well. And that's the thing as well. It's like Diamonds Are Forever. They're trying to be too American with it. You know, it's like setting it all in America. America just doesn't like work for me. I mean, I know they go somewhere else. They go to like the Caribbean or. I just feel like James Bond. At least I prefer it. I prefer it when he goes to like Europe and exotic places like Egypt and whatnot. You know Istanbul and Russia and Venice, and that's where I think James Bond. He goes skiing in the Alps or something. Like that's what I think is more appealing to me. Making it kind of too American, it just doesn't really work for me. But the Bond girl in this, yeah, she's pretty fit. Actually, let me look her up. Jane Seymour. Dang. She was Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. So yeah, I'll be watching that show. I'll give that a go. But yeah, she's a pretty good Bond girl.
Where's Kananga?
Well, he always did have an inflated opinion of himself.
Paul McCartney, the theme song, Live and Let Die, the theme song, that I would say is one of the best things of this film. It's so catchy. And Guns N' Roses did a remake of it, which is also really, really good. The villain, played by an actor who was in Alien. He was good in Alien, and he's all right here, but I don't know. It doesn't quite work for me, this film, but it's still enjoyable. Henchman is quite good as well. He's got a claw hand, so he's pretty good. The bit with the crocodiles, in fact, yes, that's cool. The bit with the crocodiles, I do like that bit. And I'll probably end on that note because, some James Bond films, some of these films, like I know some of these reviews are going to be longer than some are going to be longer than others because some I have a lot to say about and others I don't. Like On Her Majesty's Secret Service, I have a lot to say about that because I've got mixed feelings on that, whether it's like the best or the worst James Bond film. I don't know. Diamonds Are Forever is just whatever. And this film is just sort of like, yeah, it's all right, it's good, it's got some good stuff in it, but I don't know if the whole blaxploitation thing works with it. And it's Roger Moore's first James Bond film, but to be honest with you, I think Diamonds Are Forever should have been his first Bond film, but they shouldn't have set it in Vegas. They shouldn't have done that. But no, like it's still a pretty good, decent film. It's a good first attempt, I suppose. But I don't know. There's certain things that just don't really work for me. But it's all right. It's all right. I'm not completely trashing it. What do you think? Leave comments. People comment below. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm wrong, please say that. Say that in the comment section. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the next one. I'm going to go straight into that one. I think I actually prefer that one. Man with the Golden Gun. I actually think I prefer it. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Right, yeah. I'm going to stop talking about this. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Goodbye.